Hi, I'm Shelly Vitanza, and we're backstage at Verikai, which is a Cirque du Soleil performance featuring 50 performers, 600 costumes, and world-class entertainment. We are going to go around back here in a few minutes. I've got Vanessa Napoli, who's the publicist, who's going to tell us all about what's going on with Verikai, how it comes together, the performers, and what people can expect here in Southeast Texas for 7 performances. So how is a Cirque du Soleil, for those people who've never seen a Cirque du Soleil performance, how is it different than just a circus?
So we're not the traditional circus. We don't have animals in our show. Our shows are very theatrical, so it combines really high-level acrobatics mixed with theater, live music, beautiful costumes, dance. It really gives that whole entire experience. For those that are perhaps a little bit familiar with our shows in Las Vegas, this is the same caliber production that we're bringing Verikai to Beaumont.
Well, I love the performances because there's always a story interwoven with the performances. Tell us a little bit about this story.
So Verikai is a word that means wherever in the language of the Gypsies. So it's Cirque du Soleil's interpretation of what happens to Icarus after he loses his wings. So going back to Greek mythology, and in our version, he lands in this magical forest, which is Verikai. So wherever your imagination takes you, and he meets all these amazing mythical creatures that all partake in his journey to teach him how to walk. That basically teach him life lessons that you don't need wings to fly. That you could fly regardless. And there's a beautiful love story that's attached to it, and it's so theatrical, and you really submerge yourself into this beautiful story.
Are these the wings, his wings behind us? Can you show us those
Yes,
wings?
absolutely. They are pretty impressive.
Wow.
Of course, with some lighting, and when they're wearing them, it's completely different. But this is one of his wings. So when he comes and he falls from the sky, he's flapping these wings in the air, 2 of them, and he falls and lands in Verikai, and that's how the show begins.
Well, I think one of the things that makes a Cirque du Soleil performance so unique is the costuming. And if we can go backstage now, maybe you can show us some of the costumes and tell us about the costumes.
Yeah, let's go take a walk and we'll see what's happening backstage.
All right.
So this is our backstage area. And this is where all our performers will be rehearsing and practicing before the show. Some of them you'll see are stretching right here, getting ready. We have some of our costume pieces that are right over here if you want to go take a look at them.
I would like to see them. 600 costumes.
Yeah, so 600 costume pieces. We travel with 19 semi-trailers, but 1.5 is dedicated just for wardrobe. So this is just a little sneak peek of our some of our headpieces. So the red ones here, the flames, these are from our Russian swing artists. So at the end of the show, it's basically 2 acrobatic swings, and you have someone pushing it, and you have flyers that jump off the top of it into a platform where there's 2 porters holding out their hands. So they land in a handstand, they land on one leg, they jump over each other, under each other. You can really hear the whole audience going, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So they really look like flying flames, hence the little spikes. But you have some here on the left-hand side that are
more whimsical looking.
Absolutely.
What are these for?
Exactly. So it's all part of the magical creatures that inhabit Verikai. So the costume designer really wanted to create, wanted to change the shape of the human body. She wanted them to look like creatures and not human beings. And so, they're pretty wacky, if I can even use that word, but really imaginative, really creative and beautiful. So you'll see some of these creatures out at the beginning of the show all throughout.
Now, Vanessa, what does it take to put a show like this together as far as performing and practicing, and what do these people go through really to bring something like this to stage?
So as you mentioned before, we have 50 performers from 18 different nationalities, but a lot of these artists come from a gymnastics background, sporting. They've been doing this since they were 5 years old, so lots and lots and lots of training, not only when they get recruited for the show, but just in their disciplines itself. So in a week they'll be training on stage, then they'll come back here where they'll do some cardio, some stretching, some weightlifting, and some more practicing. So it really just takes a lot of dedication and passion, most importantly, to want to perform and want to give to the audience all their emotions and put everything out there and allow them to dream and escape into our fantasy world for 2.5 hours.
Now, some folks here in Southeast Texas saw Dralion a few years ago. Should they come back and see Verikai? I mean, what are the differences?
Absolutely. The show is completely different itself. It has a whole different feel to it, a whole different storyline. Dralion was completely different in the acts it presented, but of course it has the Cirque du Soleil stamp and signature. So if you really love Dralion, well, you'll get the same caliber of performance and, theater and acrobatics, just in a completely different story. You'll obviously see a lot of acts that were not performed in Dralion. So, we have lots of we have a hand balancer here. We have the Russian swing act, which is absolutely out of this world. The music is completely different. So, you know, it's really, the set looks completely different. So everything is, you know, very unique. So, you know, I welcome those people that if they love that one to come out and see us. And if you've never seen a Cirque show, well, now's the chance.
Oh, it's a wonderful, wonderful performance. And we look forward. I'm going to see it tonight. And you have 7 opportunities here in Southeast Texas to see it tonight through Friday night at 7:30, and then 2 performances on Saturday, 2 performances on Sunday. And your breath will be taken away. You will really, really enjoy it. So get your tickets. It's Verikai. It's at Ford Park, and there are 7 performances. I'm Shelly Vitanza, and we'll be back after the break.